So greetings people, today I want to talk about payback. I'm going to title that payback because I believe there are people who go around causing numerous amount of pain to other people and they think they can just get away with it just being playing the victim. So let me just let you, anyone who's causing harm or pain to somebody else, let me just make this warning about this is about payback and what you're going to face when payback kicks in. So greetings, my name is Jay. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today I'm going to talk about payback. Now, what is payback? Payback is if you're treating someone negatively and badly, and then karma kicks in and you get payback. You know, there's a saying, don't cry over spilt milk. Now, if you've caused the harm, the pain, it's going to come on back on you. So if you're being violent to somebody and you're treating them like crap, you're going to get payback. If you're treating someone, cheating and lying to somebody, you're going to get payback. As everyone knows, I'm a shaman, and I ain't lying. I'm not going to deny, you know, in my earlier life as a shaman, I did a lot of bad things. You know, I did a lot. I was a shaman for hire, if you want to call it. And it's not saying I was proud of, and I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it was, and it was actually my first partner, who was the boy's mum, who kind of got me away from doing the darker stuff in the old days. But sometimes when you cross the line with me, right, that person kicks back in. It's got to that point is where the allies I had in that life still associate with me in spirit. So it won't necessarily be that what I do or where I'm going or what I have to say the command, it will naturally kick in. It's called karma. Now, karma comes out in many forms. Karma can come back as in kind of like an accident, can come out in you losing stuff. But one thing I always say, never ever cross me. I've always been out to support, and one of my earlier lives, or not earlier lives in other life, as in this life, I went and I spent over 15 years reversing hexes. When harm came to people, I always used to go to the Almighty and ask him, is this, you want me to reverse this and send it back to the source? And I spent years reversing negative and harmful pains. Stuff you wouldn't even have a fucking imagine you would ever see, right? And sometimes people in my life see me and I'm like smiling, I'm joking, but you have not seen half the shit I've seen. If you've seen even a quarter of what I've seen with these eyes and with this third eye, you wouldn't sleep for decades, trust me. It caused me to go through a state of depression again and almost attempt suicide. And thanks to the grace of God and also my children and my first partner, the boy's mum, they brought me back from the darkest day. It wasn't God's fault, it's just I just don't know how to handle it. And for the fact is that I never had my parents around me, I lost them quite young. But the reality is like you don't know what darkness is until you've walked in these shoes. The closest people that can realize and can identify what I've seen and been through would be my oldest son. Because he was there predominantly right through the darker days, right from back in the early days. Remember, I was 19 and he was just being born. So probably when he was about 5, he saw a lot of stuff. So, and that's a lot of stuff we do still talk about. He's a clairvoyant medium now, but he knows that what his power is, right? Where it comes from, what is inside him. It's almost like what Bruce Lee said. Sometimes when you're a master or you're powerful, you don't use your true power because you know you can cause harm. So it's not a boast. For the fact is that use the power for good. This is why I couldn't understand why people who are so smart do crime, and instead of trying to bring around peace to other people, or to help other people's lives. So I'm asking these people, if you have a talent and you are doing dark stuff, please rethink your life. Rethink your life and see what you can do to help your community. Help your community, because I'm from Hackney, I'm from East London. We grew up with burnt out cars, we grew up with corrugated iron, for crying out loud. We grew up playing in a dump, right? So when you see me today, it's from the darker days of how East London would have been. Best way to explain it, if you ever seen Minder with Dennis Waterman and George Cole, if you watch some of the scenes you see there, it is very similar to what we grew up in. Obviously, they had to stage it a bit more better, so it looked more PC for that time. But it was dark times. We grew up around Bethnal Green. So as I grew up and I started developing, I got big-headed and I became a contract for hire, more or less. And I did a lot of dark stuff. I hurt a lot of people. And because of that, I kind of said, I'm sorry, it's not like I wanted to do. But now, and then, so after that, I turned around and I turned to God, and God pulled me back I found out who I truly am, and God forgave my sins. And I started helping those people by giving them a lot of blessings, and life started changing. So then I decided to make a U-turn in how I work. And not because of any church or any temple or anywhere. It's because of the grace of God and because of my close family, my boys and my den partner, that I turned around and started saying, I'm going to help humanity, and I'm going to start using my power, my gifts, in order to reverse these negative, evil things which these sorcerers do against the innocent. And it annoys me when people think that they can get away with half of their shit and then play the victim. Let me tell you, your thing has just begun. If you cause retribution to somebody and you have not forgiven your sins and apologized to them, it's just begun. I assure you. And I'm just saying, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. And they know at the end of the day that the punishment when you go up against someone who is of a good nature, that loves people, that care for people, and then you're using violence against them. You're using mind control, using them for their gifts in order to further yourself. Then you play the victim, you will get retribution and you will face the full wrath of God. I promise you that. Let me explain one more thing. In heaven, there's something called the courts, the royal courts. Whether you believe in heaven or not, I don't give a shit. I'm telling you exactly, and a lot of people who follow the stuff I do have seen all this. So in heaven, God has the royal courts, a bit like the Old Bailey in the UK. So anybody who is done crime, like fallen angels and so on, go before the royal courts. They get heard and so on. So there's not much difference between heaven and earth, right? Very similar. Second thing is like, if you go against the law, the spiritual law, you will feel his wrath. God's not some angel or some being sitting on a cloud, as I keep telling people. He's not a being sitting on a cloud playing harps and forgiving everybody and forgiving their sins. There is a darker side to him, and I'm warning people, right, that times is going to be changing. Times are going to be changing. You know what? And I pray. I honestly do pray. I honestly do pray to humanity to change the way shit's going on. I'm praying that you guys realize that shit isn't light and fluffy as you thought and being lied to by certain organized so-called religions. It's not as light and fluffy as you think it is. You know, you don't turn around and do harm to someone and then think you're going to be forgiven. You can get forgiven from the grace of God if you have a strong heart. If you are truly sorry in your heart for what you've done, you will be forgiven. If you're not, you will feel the full wrath of the holy law. And that is a fact. If you continue to walk in the darkness, you will feel the full wrath of the holy law. Now, people may call me crazy. Don't give a shit. It is the way it is. And it is the law, the holy law. I'm not talking about the book that Moses was given. I'm talking about the holy law, the natural laws. The natural laws of love, compassion, and looking out for one another. Being something that you're born with. It's something that you don't inherit. It's something that you have. You instinctively know when you do something wrong, you know you've harmed somebody. When you do something wrong and you know you're calculating it up in your head, you're doing fraud, you're lying, you're leaving people in these dire straits. You know what you're doing, and I can guarantee you, by God as my witness, you will feel the full wrath of the Almighty. Whether it comes directly from him, or whether it comes from one of his soldiers, or whether it comes from a soldier on earth or angel warring soldier that is being placed on earth, you will feel it. You will feel it. And I'm telling you, I'm warning you, and I'm begging you to forgive, to apologize, to say sorry before things get even more worse than where you are at now. Now, you may laugh, but if you've seen this, it is a stern warning to let you know that this is how he rolls. This is how he's going. Now, I know people see the way I talk and what I say. I've not spoken like this before, and it is out of my comfort zone. But this is how shit really is. People are getting away with too much shit and then crying the fucking victim. It pisses me right off. It really does. It really winds me up. You know, and all the things that you are going through is all on your own head. So stop playing the fucking victim. You know what? I really feel to remove myself from this whole stupidness of people and them playing this victim. And then when they come to me and saying, oh, this is happening and that's happening, I'm just, you know what? Don't want to fucking know. I do not fucking want to know. In fact, I'm going to start making a few changes, and it will start ricocheting throughout this planet. And it will start ricocheting even the people around me, because it's got to the point, it's got to the point where you do things for people and they treat you like you're not important. They treat you like they only want to associate with you when it only seems it's right for them. It only seems right whenever they feel they should do it out of obligation. They feel they can do it because they have to. Then let me tell you something. I ain't got time for that shit. I haven't got time for this. We ain't got time for this. The Holy Order is now telling you, you ain't got a fucking chance now. You have walked the last mile. You need to change. Like the planet is reawakening. Humanity is not that fucking stupid. You need to fucking wake up. Wake up and see the truth. And if you can't see it, feel it. If you feel it, then you're seeing it. And if you ain't feeling it, then you're gone. Then you're a skinwalker. Then there's no hope for you. There is no fucking hope for you. You know, there's a saying, many are called, but the chosen are few. I'm hoping that you are the chosen few, you know, because the others who were called and refusing to follow or walk or support or just wake up are the ones that are going to fall. And I pray that it's not you. You know, I pray that you have a strong heart and that you love your fellow man. You support, you don't try and swindle, lie, cheat and use these other people. If you're not happy, move on. If you're not happy, wake up, but don't play the fucking victim. It really irritates me and it really irritates them upstairs. And for the fact is that I know a lot of people who who associate me, not just associate me. We talk about this all the time. But even the people around me that talk about it don't do anything about it. I tell them, grow up, man up, do something, move forward. Don't talk, do. Stop chatting, stop complaining, then do it. If not, be silent. Don't say anything. You know, you complain that things are this way, things are that way. Oh, this is that, this is that. You know what? Then if you're not going to do anything about it, shut the fuck up. Get off your ass and do something about it. Go and help the person down the road that is living in poverty. Go and help the man who is asking you for a pound. Because if he's presenting it to you, therefore God is asking you to give the man money. What he does with it is his own business, right? It's on his head. But at the end of the day, it's what you've been given that chance to. And I made that foolish mistake by not doing that. So now I've started more so helping people and things to uncover. And it's not that I want things to get better for my life and for me to get blessings, because we don't do things to get blessings. We don't help humanity or even the animals in order for us to get blessings. This whole thing with the law of attraction and give and thou shalt receive, fuck it. No, it's not about that. It's not fucking about that. Because if you give, you should give from an open heart and not in order to receive. And there's so many people that work with me and I work with them and they say what blessings I've got. I tell them that I help people not because I want something in return. If I'm helping someone with a genuine heart and I'm genuinely helping them, I don't expect them to repay me. As in, you know, if they hire me to do a reading, that's a different kettle of fish. When I'm there and I choose to support somebody and spend time with a person, mentor them, guide them. Like I spent the last 10 years mentoring a good friend of mine. Now it's a very good friend of mine. Very, very, very spiritual. And now everyone around me was telling me to kick him to the curb. And you know what? She's the only one that is on the phone to me. She is the only one that will listen to me when I cry. She's the only one that'll pick up the phone and go, are you okay? And we remember in the morning that last night wasn't very good for me, that yesterday was a bad day for me. Others, right, have I call associations. Yeah, there were some really close people that are there. And I say they were close to me that do that. But remember, there are people around you that are there for you. And there's people around you that are just there because it's, how can I put it? It's the fad, you know, like the baby's just been born and then mum has to deal with it when the dust settles, you know, or something goes wrong and then the kind of like the newness of it all is changing. You know what? Now is the time that we all need to change. We ain't got, I wish you can fucking hear it. And you can hear my voice. I hope you can, probably won't hear my voice because you're probably that closed. But I wish you can. I wish you can. I wish you can open your heart and I wish you can change. You know what? The people that have turned against me, I don't give a fuck about them. I don't care. I know I'll go to my grave and I won't see him again. And I know, but my estate, they'll be quick to fight over my estate when I die. They ain't getting fuck all, I assure you. And I made sure that they don't. But that's why I know that, as God said, you're the last one to leave earth before all the ones around you, your generation, would die before you do. So even if I'm left anything behind, it's going to my grandkids or my kids. No one ain't getting shit. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's easy to say, but it's harder to do. You know, so we need to turn around and stand together as God's people and know that we can, we know that we got each other's back. You know, we know we got each other's back. And not because we have to, because we want to. That's all I have to say. God bless and namaste.